Hello, Gorringes are on view yet again, this time for our sale on the 15th of May. And back to a Monday sale, I'm pleased to say, after Tuesdays and other things and bank holidays getting in the way of all our auctions. So what have we got for you? Well, another fairly big sale. Lots of lovely jewellery, great lot, 2 cabinets full of it. But I thought I'd pick out some watches. Now, not every high value item gets held over for the fine sale. Sometimes vendors need a quicker sale. And they know because they study these things, that things that go in the weekly sale get exactly the same online marketing and presence as the fine sale. They're up there for the same length of time, and they get posted to the same global accumulation art and antiques and jewelry and watch sites. So the only difference really is that there's a printed catalogue. And a lot of people do like a printed catalogue, particularly sort of flick through, have it on the coffee table kind of thing. But most serious buyers, of course, are just glued to the internet these days, and they're just looking at everything that's coming up and deciding whether they want to bid or not, including a lot of sort of collectors and what have you. So some of these vendors think, well, I'm not waiting till June to sell. I'm going to put my watches in next Monday and have the money in within a fortnight, and happy days. So this has happened here, and we have a range of gentlemen's watches to show you, kicking off in lot order with lot 1963. This rather smart Frank Muller 18 karat gold wristwatch. It's a proper wristwatch. It has a mechanical automatic movement. It says various things upon it. It says platinum rotor, no less, and on the back it says master of complications.
Super.
Numbered with a nice box. I think we got some paperwork there. Roger will have mentioned that in the cataloguing. Estimate £2,500 to £3,000 with a lovely wooden box. There we go. Next to it, also with a box, lot 1964. This is Piaget. Don't see quite. No, it's not. It's Baume & Mercier. This one, Baume & Mercier, high quality make, more popular on the continent perhaps than in the UK. 18 karat gold diamond set. This one is quartz, so you don't have to worry about its mechanical movement. You just have to worry about sticking a battery in once a year or so, and it'll hopefully just get on with it, and you don't think about it. Estimate there £700 to £1,000. Nice, isn't it?
It's very nice.
You know, very tempting sort of look. It's lovely, clean condition. The strap's in good order. It has been worn, but not heavily.
No.
It seems good value to me at that sort of money.
I think there are plenty of women who'd like that.
Yes, of course, because
That's,
ladies pinch
they
our
do.
watches these days.
All have
So,
their own.
going back down the line in lot order, 1966, here's another mechanical movement watch, a Rolex Oyster Date Precision. From memory, that suggests it's not automatic, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because it's a Precision. No, I can't feel it bumping, so I think you might have to wind that one, which shows its age as well. But yeah, a nice classic Rolex with the date, 1966, sensible estimate, £800 to £1,200. Don't get much by way of a Rolex for less than that these days. Sitting next to it, here's something a bit different. Don't see these every day.
Showy.
Showy is a word we could use. Catalogued as gentlemen's. You suggested it could be ladies, didn't you?
I did. I don't know why.
I think it's whoever wants to wear it, really.
Well, exactly. That's
You
the
know,
great thing,
we don't
isn't it?
judge.
No.
1967. This is by Lewes. It's a limited edition diamond set stainless steel watch. It's quartz.
Black and clear
If you
diamonds.
like zebras, it's the watch for you.
Yes.
Estimate £700 to £1,000.
It's big as well, isn't it?
It is very
It's a
big.
large-
I mean, yes, it is large. We
large
put it next to
watch.
Rolex there. It's a big old chunky
Yes.
thing. 1968 next to it, Piaget, 18 karat gold, quartz movement, smart, clean,
Looks like it's got a
slimish,
new strap.
stylish. It's got as good as new strap. It's by Hirsch, so it's not the original strap, but
No.
it does look very new. Has been worn a couple of times, not much. 1968, £800 to £1,000 again.
Very good.
Very good. With the Piaget, please note, always look for those things. When straps get replaced,
Yes.
sometimes they forget to move over the original clasp from the
Right.
watchmaker, and so you lose value and authenticity. And finally, 1969, another Piaget, 18 karat, 2-colour gold, I think there, with texturing. But I think the colour's different as well. Hard to tell, isn't
No,
it?
it isn't.
It's not.
Just,
It's just
yeah,
ridged.
ridged.
Okay.
There you are.
Quartz movement again, fairly modest in size. Estimate £700 to £1,000. There are
Very
other
nice.
watches in the sale. That's just a flavour,
Yes.
and there's a ton of good jewellery. So have a good look at that. But we're going to look at the smalls now. Before we go to the smalls, and this is kind of, I'm doing this after I've done everything else, but we're coming back to it because I just remembered. really fabulous lot of engravings from an estate in Brighton. Lovely man, collected historical portrait in the main, and occasionally battle and other historical related engravings. A lot of Metzetints, some stipple engravings, line engravings, and we've got everybody really. We've got George IV. We have lots of contemporary generals like General Elliot there, Baron Heathfield,
What a
local. We have Nelson props up, the various dukes. Here's the Duke of Kent. He's not the Duke of Kent, there's Napoleon, about to be sent off to Elba or somewhere like that. And I've mucked about with these quite a bit, not the physical items, but I've actually made a bit of a fuss and identified who they all are. Some of them are without letters, you know, that's the version printed before letters. And I've put a little bit of historical or other information in the description for your entertainment and delectation. Yeah, he's a bit of a wag actually.
Oh,
He's a
look
bit.
at the horses.
Yeah, he's a bit non-PC. He was an absolute rotter, and he was very Lieutenant Colonel Tarleton. He was over in America during the American War of Independence, and he wasn't very nice to them. He had a reputation for being absolutely ruthless.
Gosh.
To the point of he'd be in trial for war crimes, I think, these days.
Gosh.
And equally, when he came back to England, I don't think he overly bettered himself. So
That's
great
lovely.
looker though. That's lovely, isn't it? There's Duke of Wellington on his favourite charger,
Oh, that's
Copenhagen.
just stunning.
Yeah,
I love
really
that.
nice. Over here we've got Wellington and Blucher and its companion piece, The Death of Nelson.
These are great.
They're fabulous, and they're all pretty good examples in
Oh,
good
sorry,
condition.
I'm just looking at the faces. Look at him.
Yeah, well, there's Napoleon again, but early on when he's a winner. Look at him. Isn't that splendid?
That is great.
Lord Bridport, Admiral of the White. So these are all pretty much individual lots.
These are so good.
A lot of them have really nice framing as well. They were bought in the main from, there used to be a shop in the Brighton called the Witch Bull, run by a lady called Angela Daniels, and she specialised in prints, and a lot of them come from her. And they've still got her little name tags on the back. Others came from people like Grosvenor Prints in London. But yeah, really fab lot. So have a look at those. Be careful, you might be tempted to buy one, and then
I'm not
God
surprised.
knows where that will lead. Suddenly you're collecting historical prints
Honestly,
and they're all over
they
the
are
walls.
so
But
great.
why not? They're
I
fab.
love this one.
Yes.
This one's completely
Well, that's
different.
lovely. That's Shakespeare. That's Midsummer Night's Dream
Ah,
from Shakespeare. So that's the one that sort of isn't part of doesn't fit the collection, but
No,
it's from the collection.
but still.
So there we go. So more goodies, but we're moving on now. So here we are in the smalls, and we're doing it all back to front. I was going to say something, I'll use another expression, but we're doing it all back to front this time. So we've looked at the jewellery and silver, and then how in the smalls, big collection of guitars. Most of them acoustic guitars, which I would not claim to profess any great knowledge about, but Paul, our chap, does the furniture over in the warehouse. He's fabulous, knows all about them, plays them really well. But just to give you an idea, I think we've got lots of fairly contemporary made guitars. So this one is by Marlin and Co. The estimate there is £300 to £500. Next to it we have one by Tanglewood with an estimate of £180 to £250. There's a great big double bass here. There are one or two electric. 1452 is a Fender Stratocaster, so famous name.
yes.
£300 to £500 estimate there. They all look to be in really lovely condition. Here's a Bluebridge acoustic here, lot 1454, with this rather lovely mother of pearl inlay.
Nice.
So rather pretty things. I'm sure that guitar people understand them, and as you can see, they're all over the shop, including these sort of smaller models. If I come around here,
Yeah.
such as this, look at that. That's rather.
Oh, that's pretty, isn't it?
That's quite a thing. Is that a Spanish guitar? I don't know. It's by Antima, and it's in with two others.
Yes.
But there we go. They're all here for you to
Some
come
small
along.
ones.
And mostly when we have a piano, people love to come along and plonk away on it and annoy everybody else. And so you're welcome to come down here and strum the strings and play some tunes. Moving backwards through the more regular section of smalls, here's something that's a little bit poignant. Lot 1720. This is by Wells. Sam Wells, his name was. He was a cartoonist In this case for the Daily Dispatch, and from memory he died around about the 1960s. This is an original cartoon by him, The Toilers for Peace, Hats Off to Them, and look, it's 1938. So it's actually sort of praising Chamberlain, I suppose, when he went to try and talk us out of war with Hitler and what have you. So, you know, we always hear the other side, that he was regarded as sort of not standing up to Hitler and etc., but a pacifist. But there we go. There's a nice contemporary original cartoon to tie into a piece of history. And of course, all these fine things tie into pieces of history in one way or another. How about this? I'm not quite sure what sort of history this ties in. It's 1397. You said don't feature this, didn't you?
That's
But
because
it's
you've got your eye
so
on it. I know
funky.
you have.
Look at that Playboy bag. Looks like someone's left their blouse in it. There's another bag with it, with a sort of Stratton compact, and the bag is by Corrit. So there we go, nice bit of sort of funky vintage there. 1397. It's not all crusty.
It smells funky vintage.
It smells. Don't say that. These are fun.
They are
These
great
are
fun.
reverse painted glass, which can't be easy, can it? You decorate them from the inside. I think there's an element of printing actually in these ones, but the earlier examples are fully hand painted. 1357, decorative pair of lamps
Very
there.
nice.
Watercolour here by Victor Noble Rainbird. It's a good name to pronounce, isn't it? Of La Havre. Rather nice, but do
Can't
note,
really
always
get it with the light.
you can't get it with the light. How about down there?
Yep, much better.
Watch out though, bit of a discoloration in the middle.
Ah,
It rather
yes.
spoils it. We had a customer recently who bought a watercolour and then only later on realised that there was a strange sort of mark in it. It looked like there were two suns, but one wasn't meant to be there. So, you know, you have to be a bit careful and do ask us for condition report. We'll look and we might get it right and spot any faults. We try to. 1363. This looks
Pretty,
rather
isn't it?
faultless to me. Perhaps needs a little buff up, but this is Tiffany & Co. Lovely quartz timepiece. It's very heavy and solid. A little booklet with it. I don't know if that... It says... Oh, there we go. Instructions. So there we go. 1363. Swiss made. Estimate. We said 100, 150. I think it'll make more than that. But anyway, there to be bought, as we say.
Yes.
Carry on down the line. Bakelite radios.
Oh, gosh, look at that.
1384. Lovely looking case, isn't it? Quite a few clocks in the sale. I think I did find one around the corner that I'll show you more of, but a whole array of different types of clock and timepiece. From memory, a lot of these come from sort of Tunbridge Wells area. Old school antiques dealer who retired and then sort of passed away sadly, but he did like his clocks, and there's quite a number scattered through the sale, along with other fine things from the same source.
Oh,
this
is
caught my eye.
nice. Yeah.
1381.
Oh, that's
Look at
fun.
that.
It almost looks modern.
It does almost look, it's very bold, isn't it? It's very striking. It's Worcester and Co. So you've got the sort of Worcester mark, but it's pre-Royal Worcester, which puts it, I guess, 1880s, 1890s. We have got registration marks here. And if you look these up, from the mark, you can tell when the design was registered. It doesn't mean that it was made then, but it probably was made close to that registration date. So we've got a fairly complete service here, actually.
Soup bowls.
I'm seeing 11 soup plates, probably about 10 or so other plates, good lot of meat or serving plates, couple of tureens,
Side plates.
one sauce tureen, would have been a pair, and a bit less. But yeah, rather striking pattern, modest estimate, because not everybody wants that, but lot 1381, 80 to 120. Here another picture. This
Oh,
is
I
by
like
Gluck.
that.
Now Gluck, when you look up Gluck, Gluck is big money. Gluck, it stands for Gluckenstein or something like that from memory. And yeah, the original paintings can make 100,000 or more. This is a little sort of wood type engraving, but nicely done with a blind stamp of the period. Won't have a huge estimate. That's like
That's very pretty.
1701. Next to an Irish picture, next to a Greek picture. There's all going on. I think it's come back.
Another clock.
I liked these. These caught my... Well, I didn't like them really. I don't want to
Oh,
own
they're
them.
such fun.
But here's a huge quantity of calendars, and from memory, they are all of the Unipart calendars. So we know about Pirelli, but Unipart also produced sort of semi-raunchy calendars to entertain their people that retailed their parts, and they used... Patrick Litchfield was one of their major photographers for many of their calendars.
Be careful.
Why?
Well, because I'm putting this online.
Well, I don't think
might
anything
get
too
told off.
rude is there. It is
It's
what it
such
is.
a fun.
I thought
yeah.
there was a great inscription here. Oh, not inscription, sort of title to a photograph.
That's
and
great.
There he is.
Yes.
Cameraman, assistant, art director, scribe and producer. If that lot can't record a pretty girl in the midst of a pretty moment, we all ought to go back to watercolours and do it properly. There we go. So I think they had a really tough time sort of driving around exotic places like the Caribbean, the south of France, with lots of scantily dressed models.
Yes.
It must have been a hard gig and getting paid good money to do it. But there we go. That's lot 1416.
Lots of fun.
Looks like you've pretty well got the lot there, all of the calendars. So
Another
kind of
clock.
fun that.
Yeah.
Then let's have a look round here. Now something else completely different, as they say, lot 1340.
Yes.
A huge collection of Masonic jewels. So these are the medallions, the jewels worn by Masons. I don't know, we may have buffaloes here as well and others, but I think majority are Masonic. And I don't claim to understand the details of all of these things, but you've got the ranks and various different lodges, etc. Large collection. The estimate is £1,000 to £1,500. So
There's 10 of these.
it's being
aren't there?
taken fairly seriously. Yes, so a lot of them are silver, not all of them. Don't think there's any gold ones there. Down the line again, let's have a look at some more pictures. This is Lamorna Kerr. From memory, Mary Lamorna Kerr, he said, but look, no, her name begins with E, so it can't be Mary, can it? Lady painter, presumably descendant or connected to Lamorna Birch, or perhaps just working in the area. But you'll see there's plenty online about her. 1684 is this one. I think the estimate's 8120.
Right.
And here again, there's another one of her paintings, and very much like Lamorna Birch, sort of follower of or after and what have you. Clocks. Now I mentioned lots of interesting clocks in the sale. There's a nice one up there with a sort of chinoiserie lacquer decoration, but this one really caught my eye. 1347.
That's a big chap.
Victorian. Retail with Gillett and Johnston of Croydon on the front.
Yes.
But what makes this really rather fun is that it is
A double mummy.
a double dial, and on the back we've got Vaughan and Whitehouse depot for electric clocks. Now
Oh.
this does flush out a few questions, doesn't it? If we have two different names
Yes.
on two different dials, what has happened here? Do we have two different dials? Are they in the same style? Well, I'm jumping backwards and forwards, and the printing on them is very much of an ilk. We've got
So do you
slightly
think
different VR monograms.
So 2 different clocks, are you thinking?
Were they advertising different people? You could just put your name up on them. I'm afraid I
That's
don't
what I
have the
think.
answers for that. Interesting though that if they were advertising the depot for electric clocks, that this has a mechanical movement. There we go. Nice single fusee movement sitting inside there.
Yeah.
So questions to be answered, perhaps,
Well, if anyone knows.
about the whys and wherefores. If anyone knows, some of our customers do. Anyway, great fun. The estimate £300 to £400. Good thing. We're nearly there now, I think, on smalls. Are we not?
We are. We're going to do a bit of silver now, aren't we?
I thought we did the silver. No, we didn't. We didn't.
Oh dear.
Right, quick, step this way. Just in passing,
Yes.
lots of JCJ pottery
Oh,
in this
yes.
cell, more than the
So
other
super.
one. There's lot 1273, nice big charger with significant buildings in the City of London and perhaps elsewhere, because I don't think we've got pyramids in London, or maybe that's the Louvre, I don't know. But anyway, there we go, nice big JCJ charger, other JCJ in the sale. But yes, silver. I wanted to talk about silver, not loads of silver because we did mention it regularly, but a few things caught my eye. Really, this one, lot
Yes.
1808. I rather got excited about that because I think that's a lovely shape, and it's yes, it's a sugar bowl. But what's nice, it is period. It's George III, William Fountain, the maker, 1796, and just such a stylish looking. Just a pleasing shape and really nice condition.
Yep.
Good set of marks. Estimate, I think we said 150 to 200. Next to it, Chinese silver. This pocket flask with the dragon, bit of planishing. It says on the back to J.G. Clay from the Chinese clerical staff at the Cathay Hotel. So you couldn't get more Chinese than that. And it has got a silver stamp and some sort of maker's mark there. We've just said 100 to 150. That's lot 1812. Here, a Tig or three-handled cup, rather nice. George V, 1912. what does it say on there? It's hard to read.
Sky Meeting, SK
It says Selangor Turf Club.
That's right.
Sky Meeting won by Fairy Tale. There we are. So one could track that down if one likes the racing history to it. Quite a smart thing. Lot number 1832. Next to it, 1833. A smart pair of bottle coasters, just a little bit more
You like these, don't you?
delicate. I do tend to mention these too often, probably, but they're quite delicate examples. They're in at £200 to £300.
And why did you like these particularly? Because they're not...
They're not the big, tall, chunky ones. They're slightly smaller. They're George III. They're 1786, 2 to 300 estimate. And finally, in the silver, something a bit different. 19th century Russian, dated. It's Zlotnik, 84 Zlotnik silver. Hallmarked for Moscow 1875. It's a Torah breastplate. So you've got the Judaica element to it. Interesting thing, 1849, estimate 2 to 300. Come along and buy me, or try and buy me, it's saying, because it'll probably go on a bit more, as so many of these things do.
See, you've also got the box for the Frank Muller.
Yeah, there's
and
the box for the
paperwork.
Frank Muller, and there's other watches here and all sorts. There's
great.
far more to look into. Quick bit of furniture, then we're done. So furniture, a few highlights showing in the main room. Here's one of these sort of early 20th century timber front, I guess sort of office or filing cabinets that people like these days. Lot 1226.
I'm not surprised. That's a nice thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a nice thing, isn't it? Rather nice than fire insert there, but obviously you need the right shape. That's is lot
very narrow,
1225. That's more of a bedroom size.
Yes.
Across here, I've seen a few other bits of furniture in this ilk. This is olive wood. And I guess it's a Bible type of box. It could be a Bible box. It's lot 1221. It says on the top, Abraham's oak from Lebanon, although I'm not seeing oak in this. So unless it's this very thin veneer, but which it possibly could be oak veneer to the top. It comes with a
pretty.
Jerusalem olive wood table. We know that it says Jerusalem upon it.
Nice shape.
And these date to, I don't know, 1900, 1890, 1910, that sort of date. So those two are together, lot 1221.
That's fancy.
What's fancy?
1220.
Well, this is, yeah, Tiffany style. You know, the real thing is £30,000. This is more like 200. Not bad. Lost a few of its little drops, but still, rather fun that. And it'll look very pretty when it lights up.
Yes. Clock.
Clock, yes, clock, say not a lot more. Great big long case clock for anyone that would like it. Spot lamps, neo-Gothic stools, Maison Janssen style coffee tables, lot 1207. Naked bronze ladies, 1568.
Huge mirror. 1208.
Yes, there's a great big
Enormous.
overmantel mirror there, carved gilt wood, lot 1208, so later painted gold.
Gosh, yes.
Nice big club fender down there. It's
It's
not period, but it
enormous.
has age. Lot 1202. Yeah, good size.
Goodness me, that is huge.
Nice big fireplace.
Yes.
And yeah, nice looking thing that. So as ever, you know, there's clocks here we could still talk about. There's a Trumeau mirror there. There we go. Trumeau
Is
mirror.
that what it's
17
called?
That's what it's called. 1746. So as ever, it's all here to be had. Even more interesting things around the corner, I'm sure. Come along and have a good look. Have a look at the website. Send us an email, and thank you for watching.